Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Brad Woodall REI vlog. I hate that word, vlog. Let's just say video discussions. So, I am on my way to a monthly REIA meeting that I haven't been to in a little while, but I used to attend regularly every month. You know, I'll tell you what, like, when you have a little one at home, a little kid, our second son Carter was born back in July. He's almost 8 months old now, and we've got a 3-year-old. And back when we had just Mason, things were easy. I could attend these meetings, right? My wife could kind of handle putting Mason to bed. That was fine. And then once the second one came into the mix, it complicates things a little bit. So we kind of split the bedtime routines up, and she does Mason and I do Carter, and you know, we do that. But so lately, since Carter's small, I've been kind of limiting the meetings that I attend to, not going to as many. I was going to like 3 or 4 a month. These are evening meetings, nighttime evening meetings. So I'm going to go back to this one. I haven't been in a while. It's the monthly Mountain REIA meeting in Cumming, Georgia, at Exit 14 at the Golden Corral, all-you-can-eat buffet. And it is the first Tuesday of every month at 6:30 p.m. That is actually the first REIA meeting that I ever started attending. And it's a smaller group. It's not like the larger Atlanta REIA meetings where it's just like a big pitch fest. It's one of the smaller groups, so it's good. Built some great relationships there, and that's why I wanted to do this episode to talk about networking, right? You know, if you're not a social person, networking might be really awkward and difficult for you, but it doesn't have to be. You don't have to meet everybody in the room. Networking is not about walking around and just giving out your business card to as many people as you can. That's just not effective, in my opinion. Networking is about meeting people and building like lasting relationships with those people. And you know, I've built some great relationships with people at some of the meetings that I've attended. And what I typically do is, like, I'll go to a meeting and I'll just hang out with like 1 or 2 people and just talk the whole time to them. And then maybe next month when I come back, I'll go meet another person. And, you know, you just talk and have a long relationship with 1 or 2 people. So if you're an introvert, that's a lot easier. I don't know if I'd consider myself an introvert. I'm a little shy, but I still like people. I'm like halfway between an introvert and an extrovert. I don't know. But it's a lot easier, right? Just pick one person, just talk to them, and ask them about themselves. You know, if you've ever read the book How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie, it's like a classic. The number one theme in there is let others talk about themselves. Don't talk about yourself too much. Sometimes I have a tendency to do that, and I try to stop myself. And you know, that's something I've been working on over the years, is just talking to other people and letting them tell their story, and don't interrupt them, and you know, don't try to one up them. Just let them tell their story. So when you're networking, right, you need to be networking. You need to be out there, and you need to be, if you're going to, especially in real estate, really in any business, your success in business and your career and in life is about who you know, and being and knowing the right people. You know, I think pretty much every job that I ever got in my lifetime, with the exception of one, and I ended up leaving that job after a short period of time because I didn't really care for it, was because of someone I knew. And they referred me to the place, and then we set it up, and I interviewed, and because I knew that person and had a relationship, that's how I got the job. The same goes with business deals. If you're doing business deals, you do deals with people you know. Like, for example, a lot of the stuff I wholesale, a lot of the buyers that I wholesale properties to are people that I've built relationships with, and I do repeated deals with them. I know that if I have a property in Paulding County, I have a person that I can call, and they'll immediately, generally within 10 minutes, tell me whether or not they want that property. And that's how it is. And I know that that person will close on the property. I know that they want it. I know that they trust my judgment on assessing what's a good deal and what's not a good deal. And over time, with practice, you'll get better at that and realize, just listen to the feedback of your buyers, and they'll tell you if you're bringing good deals or not. And maybe if you build some partnerships with people and do some deals with other people in partnerships, they'll tell you what's a good deal and what's not a good deal. So anyways, you build those relationships, and you check in with these people periodically. Maybe you buy them lunch, or they buy you lunch, and sometimes you get in a back and forth, and you just stay connected with them. And that way, you're not just reaching out to them when you need something. You really have a relationship with them. Befriend them on social media and comment on their posts and uplift them and encourage them, right? And when you encourage and you uplift people and you help other people, you need to give more than you receive. And if you give and add more value to others, they'll come back to you when they have something that's up your alley. They'll give you a call, and they'll think about you in future business ventures, and they know and they trust you. And that's another point of networking and building these relationships is, don't be a dirtbag. Don't just use people and pump them for information and then never talk to them again. That's just rude, and that's not building relationships with people. And when you build these long established relationships, they'll pay off huge dividends in the long run. And you can do this over time and go to different meetings and go to different, for example, I go to a few different types of real estate meetings, different formats, and I go in different places around the metro Atlanta area because I want to meet people from all over the Atlanta area, not just people who are stuck in their little bubble in, wherever, Georgia, right? I want to meet people from all over, and that way that I know that if I maybe have a deal come across my desk in a certain part of town, I can call them and say, hey, what do you know about this? And I've done that on repeated occasions where I got a lead in on my website, and it was in a part of town that I didn't recognize. And when I was running comps, I saw the selling LLC was someone I knew. So I called him up and said, hey man, I saw you sold this property on this street like 7 months ago. Tell me about the neighborhood. Like, what was your experience with that sale? Like, I've got a lead in that neighborhood, and I'm trying to figure out what to do with it, and I don't really know a lot about that neighborhood. You have any insight to that? And, they'll tell you, like, oh, well, the property sat on the market for longer, or it'll probably sell between this and this, or watch out for this, or watch out for that, or, hey, I'll buy it from you. I want another one in there. That's how you do it, and that's how you build, a relationship, and you make deals happen right there. So I think I've kind of run out of topics to talk about here. I think that I pretty much covered it, but I wanted to just kind of talk about networking, and networking is about building long-lasting relationships with people so that they'll turn to you, or you can turn to them when you need assistance, or you have something that might benefit them, or they have something that might benefit you. You're top of mind, and you're the one that's going to get the phone call. So go out there and build some great relationships with people, and don't be afraid to talk to people. Just talk to them. No, people don't bite, and occasionally you're going to run into some weird people out there. you'll run into some weird people. I've run into some odd people at some meetings, and I'm like, yeah, I don't want to do business with that person. They come across as a little shady. But over time, your radar for that will get better, and you'll be able to pick that stuff out. So thanks for joining in. Thanks for your time, and I hope that helps. And keep getting at it. Thanks.